Well, Pacelli and Bloom are they grizzled and gray, talking about Star Wars from back in the day. Got a talk show called Geeky Geezers, it's true, spinning old tales about the stuff they went through. From Atari to Trek, they know every line. Geeky Geezers, man, they feeling just fine. Late Savvy's got a lightsaber, swings it with pride. Boomer's got a game but plays it deep in the night. They're ranting about He-Man and old X-Men too. On Geeky Geezers, they're the nerdiest crew, talking Transformers toys that twist and they turn, singing blues for the geek life, their hearts still burn. Oh, Geeky Geezers, they're living the dream, talking comics and movies, they're busting the seams. From Battlestar reruns to D&D lore, they're preaching the gospel of geek evermore. With Telly and Boomer, they'll never grow old. Geeky Geezers with hearts made of gold. They're sitting in the studio, mics turned up loud, reminiscing about Super Friends, feeling so proud. Pacelli loves Spider-Man, Boomer's for Hulk. They argue about Star Trek with passion and both. From Betamax tapes to their old D20s, Geeky Geezers where the nostalgia flows. They got fans in the chat, from the young to the old, tuning in to hear stories that never get cold. Talking Ghostbusters, proton packs, toys in the box, and Saturday mornings with cartoons that rocks. Pacelli and Boomer, they're keeping it real. Geeky Geezers with that old school feel. Oh, Geeky Geezers, they're living the dream, talking comics and movies, they're busting the scenes. From Battlestar reruns to D&D lore, they're preaching the gospel of geek evermore. Pacelli and Boomer, they'll never grow old. Geeky Geezers with hearts made of gold. They're singing the blues for the games that they play, for the VHS tapes and the arcades that pray. But the spirits are young, though their hair's turning white. Geeky Geezers keep the nerd fire alight, so tune in each week to the Geeky Geezers show, where Pacelli and Boomer let the good times flow. From X-Files to X-Men, they're dropping the news, singing praises of geek life with them old blues. Pacelli and Boomer, forever they'll be Geeky Geezers living wild and free.
Ooh, yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Geeky Geezers. I'm your host, Agent Boomer. This is my co-host, Pacelli.
Howdy, howdy.
And along with us is my other co-host, Netters Network, otherwise known as the Geezette.
Good evening. I'm showing off one of my favorite pictures of me and Troy at our vow renewal.
That is a good-looking couple.
8 years ago.
Yes. And here we are in our present day, Sunday after Thanksgiving, the night before Cyber Monday.
Yeah, for what it's worth, There
actually, to be fair, there's some decent deals on boutique Blu-rays, like Arrow Video.
Which we'll get to later today, yeah.
I'm picking up their boutique Blu-ray of Flash Gordon for $17, so that's not bad.
I'll tell you,
and Last Starfighter was also $17. Yeah. I
realized something coming into Cyber Monday after last Friday's last call. I realized another prediction regarding Cyber Monday and Black Friday. I think what you're going to start seeing, and I don't know if this phrase will catch on, but I think you're going to start seeing Cyber Weekend. And I think it's going to be Black Friday through Cyber Monday. And whatever deals, they're all going to be the same, and they're going to last all weekend, and it'll be online.
Now, see, for me, I want to get 2 more security cameras for our house, and I've got, it's a set of 2 that I have in my cart on Amazon, and I'm going to see if tomorrow they're actually lower in price.
So that's why I'm not too concerned about people figuring out where I live and, doxing me, because, we got a good security system, and part of that is beware of owner. Just saying. Mullen Law Bay, guys. That's what I'm saying.
Want to make sure your packages don't get lifted either.
Well, Well, we haven't really had a problem with that anyway.
It's like we
live in a good neighborhood.
20 years, and I can honestly say that we have never had an issue. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
Near me? Yeah, knock on wood. That we've never had porch pirates.
And we have, we're literally right next to a high school. They literally walk past our house every day on the way home, so they have every opportunity.
and it's like our front door, right outside our front door is basically a big slab. It's one step down to our walkway. There's nothing around it where you can hide packages or anything. When people drop off packages, they just throw them on our stoop or next to the stoop if the grass isn't wet. And yeah, even when we used to work away from home, never had an issue.
Okay.
So it's me.
Cool. Troy Pacelli was first. Welcome. Welcome to everyone. Big Al. Let's see. Sydney and Amanda in the same film. I am there. Hello, my geezer friends. Have a great show tonight. Wishing everyone a happy week ahead.
As long as Paul Feig doesn't screw it up.
Well,
we'll see.
I find it interesting how Dan Aykroyd was viewed. Yeah, he'll never work in this town again. It's like, no, they're giving him a major profile movie again. That's the thing. Now, if he's smart, he just follows the script and leaves and knows what's good for him. Now, this is a thriller; it's not a comedy.
And I was going to say, from what I understand, this is well, we'll get into it. Let's save it till we get.
But I mainly brought it up because I thought this could end up being a big boon for Sydney Sweeney's career, as it's a very, very, very popular book series that a lot of people don't know about. But I know because I work at a library; they're always being checked out.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, any exposure for Sydney Sweeney is good.
Well, because I feel like they're trying to cancel her for no good reason.
No, they won't be able to cancel those. I mean, her.
Yes. Hey, we got Geeky Geezers tonight. Yes, welcome, Enigma Senators.
Hey, we're the geezers, and people say we geezer around.
This is one of these weird weeks because it's Thanksgiving week, and I used to say, like in years past, oh, there's not going to be any news this week. But then there's news. But this week, yikes.
Yeah.
I had to dig it, and it's funny because when Troy, on the few occasions Troy hasn't been able to make it for Geeky Geezers, I would do a show called The Geek Gulag, and I would usually get like deleted scenes or Steve Otten, or I would get Big Al of Big Al Presents, or maybe both of them. We would do The Geek Gulag, where I would present stories that normally wouldn't make the cut for Geeky Geezers, like there's an R2D2 Tamagotchi you could buy. That was one of those.
Which you actually did get me. I have that. I even built a custom 1/6 scale R2D2 body for it.
Holy cow! Okay, well that's incredible. All right. How does R2D2 die in that? Do you not give enough oil or something? Is that how it happens? Oh, last call.
I have to admit, I haven't quite played with it yet.
It's okay. You're saving it. Last call membership, $1.99 a month gives members 4 movies a month. And speaking of which, I will be on with you at some point this month, and you can vote on what they decide to watch that night. You can listen to Troy and Edder's commentary, and a week from Monday, I will be on with them to discuss a Christmas movie that's not really a... Well, is it a Christmas movie or not if it takes place at Christmas time?
I can't even say, because
you don't know any of these movies. Okay.
You recommended 4 movies that I'm going to put up for a vote of the members. I've never even heard of these movies before, so I can't tell you if
they're... you're missing out, dude.
I have to just take your word that these movies actually exist, let alone that they're Christmas movies.
Well, that's the weird thing, because you'll watch a movie, that takes place... Like Cobra. Cobra's an example. Cobra technically takes place at Christmas time. Now, I wasn't going to put that on the list because I feel like that one's been well played on our various networks. But,
same with Last Boy Scout, right?
Yes. Oh, I didn't even think about that one.
Got to watch out for the big bad Satan Claus.
Ah, yes. Connie Cleary, 1863. Welcome. That's a good year. Who was president in 1863?
I don't know. I was young at the time.
Okay. Jessica Hardo, welcome. Let's see. D. Penzak. I got people in this chat here. What are you, visiting family over the holidays? What are you doing here? Forbidden Frontier running so late, catching up on soups, but I gotta get to bed, so I'm over here. Jumping over here. Okay, well, welcome. Catching up on soaps.
Wash up.
Never mind. Soap operas. You know a lot about soap operas. My sister
watches them. I am not really current with them. I have to turn to Sir Torrin Clegane for info on soaps
Well, my sister
more
subscribed to Hulu for some of the soaps, but she's really mad at this merger of Hulu and Disney Plus. She says that happens, I ain't doing it. I'm done. I'll just have to catch things online because I'm not, or catch clips because I'm not.
because she doesn't want.
She
Does, she
want
doesn't
Disney
want to
Plus.
support.
I mean, technically, you're
Gotcha.
supporting Disney with Hulu, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Dude, D Pensek, save this for later, but I will be looking for that trailer. Yes, we have a story later, D Pensek. Tune in, okay, on this very
Yeah,
subject
absolutely.
matter.
We'll get there.
In fact, I was almost going to do Excalibur for Good Old Days tonight, and I realized we had done that because I did King Arthur for Good Old
That's
Days
right.
one time, and then I
That's right.
decided. But that's okay. I picked another subject that ties to a story.
Which reminds
Geek
me, by the
Flag.
way, Boomer.
Yes.
I do have to, and I'm going to put you on the spot because I'm going to bring this up on the air. You got to get back to Big Al about when you're going to be doing your next
Robin of Sherwood.
Robin of Sherwood.
Not this week, but I'll set a date for December. We'll have to do one. Well,
there you go.
Okay, yes, I will. Thank you for bringing that up to me. I will be in touch with him. Yes, big fan of Robin of Sherwood.
Yep.
Cobra, aka Beverly Hills Cop Sloan. That was originally Sloan's version of Beverly Hills Cop. What the heck? Totally different. You know, Beverly Hills Cop was a holiday blockbuster of the year it came out. Did you know that? I think it was released around the Christmas holidays.
I think, I seem to remember, as opposed to Trading Places, which definitely has that Christmas feel, came out in the middle of summer.
Yes. Yes. And yes, we have Simu in our collage, Geek Flag. Yikes, you're a little angry there. We'll talk about him later. He's got some choice words. And I think he threw he throws another actor under the bus in his comments. I know who that actor is because it can only be one person.
Yeah.
What is that? What is Big Al saying there?
Oh, it's bow and arrow.
Oh, for Robin of Sherwood. I got you.
Right.
So usually we start out these streams talking about the good old days. So let's go do that. Do you have the thing uploaded?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay.
I do. Let me.
There we go. Geeky Geezers.
Agent Boomer, 11/30/25. We want to give him attribution for creating the on his own show.
Very funny. So usually we talk about the good old days, and I'm talking about the good old days of Riddick.
I have to admit that I only remember watching, although I think I saw the second movie. Okay. I only remember the first one. Pitch Black.
What? Wait a minute. Are you not familiar with the Chronicles of Riddick? I'm doing the whole shebang here right now. Okay, I think it's Richard B. Riddick, notorious outlaw, a murderer, convict, intergalactic criminal, and he is captured by a lawman, and he's on board this spaceship. That basically it's like a coach spaceship. Like some people are settlers. You have a Muslim imam with some orphans. They're going on a pilgrimage to a new Mecca that's on another planet. Because I guess now there's a new Mecca in the far future, and you have free settlers. You have all different groups on this ship, and then suddenly bad stuff starts happening on the journey. And I want to say it's like mini asteroids. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know how like usually when ships fly through space, like you worry about the big asteroids. It's like the little asteroids, but they're big enough that they brace the core of the ship, and they have to do a forced landing.
Well, sure. If you have, this is what they call micro asteroids, micro meteorites, or whatever. These things at high speeds, these things could be going, faster than a speeding bullet, literally. And if they're coming at you, your ship. And this is why in Star Trek, they have the technobabble about the deflectors. The deflectors are supposed to prevent anything that's coming at you, especially at these high relativistic speeds, faster than the speed of light, shooting through your ship. That would just destroy your whole ship. But yeah, anyway, this is a problem. People don't realize this is a problem with space junk floating around, in orbit. The International Space Station gets peppered with things all the time. a little bolt or a little paint chip from a previous vessel that's in orbit, could be going, thousands of miles a second, boom, right into the side of the ship and leave a hole,
Yeah.
and they literally have to patch it. Because it starts an atmosphere leak. It doesn't work like it does in sci-fi, where it suddenly explodes the ship and you get blown out the little hole and you get turned inside out. Keep in mind, the pressure inside that ship is 1 atmosphere.
Yeah.
Your body, you could put your hand over the hole in the breach in a spaceship, and well, I mean, you might end up eventually getting a burn on the hole that's exposed to space, because you're effectively freeze drying that spot in your hand, but it's not going to kill you. It gives you plenty of time to get anything like a playing card to put over it until you can get duct tape and really fix it.
Yes. Well, I suppose so, but so anyway, the crew, the captain gets killed. He's in cryostasis. The one goes right through him, kills him immediately. This leaves the second in command and the pilot, and they have a decision they have to make. We have to do a crash land?
Let me speak to that too, by the way. Yes, that absolutely can happen too. If it pierces your ship, it absolutely can pierce.
It went through him like a bullet, yeah.
Yeah, if you happen to be in the path, that's going to kill you. I'm just saying that the hole in the ship probably isn't going to kill you.
Yes, exactly. They have to do a crash landing on the nearest planet. And the pilot, she, played by Radha Mitchell, she's like, screw this, we're ejecting the passengers. And the second man says, you do not do that. We have a duty to protect our passengers. And he does an override on her before she can do it. And then they crash, and about half the passengers get killed in the crash, but
half the passengers survive.
Yes, yeah. And unfortunately, the second in command gets a big thing in his chest during the crash landing, and he ends up bleeding out. And so she's the one left in charge, and all the surviving all the surviving passengers say, "I suppose we have you to thank. Thank you. I guess you're the captain now." Even though she was the one that was going to kill them all.
Yes. Kill them all. Yeah,
and she actually has guilt as the movie goes on. She's like, "Don't be thanking me. It was my choice." Talk about the second in command. He was the one who wanted to keep you alive. That is Johns. He's the quote unquote lawman who has this notorious criminal named Richard Riddick. Richard Riddick is unique. He's played by Vin Diesel. He can see in the dark because he had his eyes shined in prison, but that also means he can't see real bright light now, otherwise it's too bright for him. So he wears like these dark sunglass goggles over his eyes. That's why he's always wearing those goggles.
Did they ever explain why he did that? Was he going to be working in mines or something?
No, because he was in a horrible prison called Butcher Bay, which they made a video game out of. If you want to hear that story, you can play the video game Escape from Butcher Bay. But he had to get his eyes shined in there because it's so dark in that prison. It was a survival mechanism in the prison where people are going to come up and shiv you in the back or something. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that's why he got it in the prison, and he had to pay someone in the prison to do it for him. And of course, right now, and of course, that's one of the orphans. This orphan's name is Jack.
Yep.
Jack presents herself as a boy, but it turns out no, she's a girl. That this is a big reveal.
Which is crucial. It's a bit of a little twist about mid episode or mid film, and it's crucial to the plot. Yeah.
Yes, because she
becomes a woman.
Yeah, and then of course with that the monsters they can smell the blood.
They smell
they're
blood.
Horrible monsters on this planet too. This is interesting though. What I find interesting about the Riddick movies, even though they're science fiction, in the future we still have all our religions. This man is a Muslim. In another one of the Riddick movies, the one guy is a Christian. He has a Bible.
It drives me up the wall when you get sci-fi that tries to downplay this whole concept that in 100, 200, 300 years there won't be any religion because we'll be so progressive. And it's like, we haven't gotten rid of religion in thousands of years.
Yes.
You think it's going to happen in the next 300? You're delusional.
And as we'll learn in the next movie, there are new religions that come about too, which are rather dangerous.
Which
That's the
actually doesn't
second
surprise
movie,
me
yes.
either, because
Yes.
we see them happening real time
Yes.
right now.
So that's Keith David, though. We have Claudia Black from of Farscape fame. She's in it in this as well.
I was going to say, she looks familiar.
Yeah, and what's cool about this alien world is it feels alien because there are some points where it looks normal, but like the skyline is slightly different than what you'd see on Earth.
I love, all it takes in a scene like this. We were talking about this, I think on Saturday or yesterday. This whole idea that I feel like cinematography, the whole science of cinematography has been lost. They used to know how to do lighting, to get across mood, time, all kinds of different things, and still be able to see what was going on screen. And this is a great example of showing you a bright alien world that looks to me like an alien world, because that's not what sunlight would look like on Earth.
Well, that's because
time of day.
On this planet there are 3 suns.
There you go. And I'll bet you one of them's probably a blue dwarf. One of them could be a white dwarf, you know.
What's dangerous though is that of course there are these horrible creatures that live underground, and they come out, and of course the sun hurts them, so they can't leave the underground, which is good. But then they find an old exploratory camp, which were, I guess, studying the planet, and there's this thing telling you that there are eclipses every so often. Like every 20 years there'll be an eclipse, and they're due for an eclipse. Yes, and that's when these horrible creatures come out and attack them. And they can, and that's Johns. Johns ends up being a very nasty merc. There are classes of people in this, kind of like you have classes like in D&D, and one class is mercs, and these are people that like guns for hire.
Yeah,
and Riddick hates mercs. And this is what's interesting. As you watch the movie, you realize, is Riddick as evil as they say he is, and are the good guys as good as they say they are? Because like
exactly,
Riddick is a violent man, but I think he's more pure emotive.
Yeah.
Whereas Johns, he actually he stole the emergency, I guess, morphine that was on the ship, just so he could get high that she was going to use on the captain that was bleeding out, and it's like because he was having a horror because he was going to try to give him a peaceful way out. Just no. So moving on to there's Riddick, and like I said, when it gets dark, he doesn't even need the goggles anymore. He can just take them off. But anyway, I think I'm ignoring the chat here, but. Chronicles of Riddick was much better than Pitch Black, and Riddick should have come before Chronicles of Riddick because that's clearly should have been the end of the trilogy. Well, here's the thing. People get angry about what I would like to say are total shifts in this series.
Mm-hmm.
And I would argue, no, this is just this character in a story where he gets stranded on this horrible planet with a bunch of survivors of this crashed ship. And then you have the next one that has more of an epic scope, because like our world, you have smaller scale stories and larger scale stories. Do you understand?
Right. It's you're following a character, and he's going to be in different stories all the time. Oh, is this a render of what the creatures look like?
Yes, that's
you
how
don't really get a good look at.
You don't get a good look at them in the movie. I think that's one of the better picks of them. They're very nasty. They'll tear you apart in 5 minutes. I'll say this: if they do attack you, you're not going to feel it long because they're going to eat you up like real quick. It's like you won't have time to react. In fact, he argued because him and Johns have a tussle because Johns wants to kill the girl that's bleeding and use her as bait to drag her along, and then Riddick says that's a good idea, but I think we need a bigger piece of bait, and that's when he attacks Johns and kills him. And what was interesting though is when actually he attacks Johns, but Johns ends up getting eaten by one of these creatures, and the creature just bites his head off right away. And Riddick actually argued that was actually probably a better death than a lot of them are going to have on this horrible planet. But there was an animated feature, only about 40 minutes long, made later, Dark Fury. I don't know if you've ever seen this. This was meant to bridge the gap of Pitch Black and Chronicles of Riddick. This was like an animated tie-in that they did. Cool. They would do these back in the 2000s. Peter Chung, who did Aeon Flux. You remember those that MTV show? He did the animation for this, and it's a really good little short. Basically, the survivors, which are basically Jack, Imam, and Riddick, they're the ones that survive the Pitch Black planet, but they get captured by a merc ship. And I kept thinking a merc ship would be like this tiny vessel. It's this huge, like, prison ship that's filled with prisoners that are kept in this sort of cryo-frozen to be put on display by this maniacal woman here, and the other half of the ship are just mercs on ice, which you can just defrost. I need a merc, I need a merc, I need a merc, and she wants to add Riddick to her collection. That's her second in command in the background there. Nasty character there. This was a nice little short. This could have been a feature on its own if they had wanted to lengthen it out to 90 minutes. But it's cool. You can find it as a special feature on the Pitch Black Blu-ray. But moving on to, of course, here's the big one, The Chronicles of Riddick. Now, do you remember this one when it came out? Huh?
I remember it coming out. I may have even seen it, but I don't recall.
All right. What I found interesting. Okay, well, that's the latest bounty hunter after Riddick. That's Toombs. I like him. Like one of his underlings says, Riddick just ghosted two guys because he's after the bounty on Riddick, and he's like, maybe we should just leave it be. And he says, I think you're my new gunner, and like he says, put on a fresh pair of panties. He's not he's just a scummy guy. I keep thinking. He had an American accent, but I think he's an Australian playing him or something. He has that swarthy look. That's Carl Urban.
Oh my gosh, I would not have recognized him.
Yes, the villains this time around are a group called the Necromongers.
They have that very Bram Stoker's Dracula armor style.
I would argue that if, of course, we find out in this movie that Riddick is actually one of the last remaining of a race of humans called the Furians, and these are the Necromongers, and the Necromongers killed all the Furians, and I'm like, so this is basically Goths versus Metalheads. That's how I sort of look at this. But yeah, they have this weird religion where they go to each planet and they force you to convert to their religion, or they kill you, and that's basically it. And of course, when they show up on Helium Prime in the city of New Mecca, this one guy argues, no, this is a planet of many faiths, many religions. We will not be converted. Then the Lord Marshal says, well, then I'll just steal your soul. Like he separates the guy's soul from his body, and the guy drops dead. So then they all bow, but one man doesn't bow, and guess who it is? Riddick, of course, will not bow, yes. Imam, actually, he was working with some people. He's the one that put the bounty on Riddick because he wanted to get back to the planet because he's like, I have a family now. Because this is a number of years later after Pitch Black. And he's like, I have a daughter, I have a wife. My planet's going to get destroyed by these crusading zealots that are like half dead. Because they go through this weird process. I don't know. I'm sure people have been chiming in the chat, though. Let me see. Third movie that I can remember was not The Two Towers. Oh, you're thinking of something else. Okay. But this kind of came out around the same time as Lord of the Rings and stuff. This was director David Twohy and Vin Diesel. I'll say this about Vin Diesel. He loves playing this character.
Sure.
He takes it seriously. He is big on this. That's Lord Marshal. He's the main villain of this. He's as the Necromongers call him, a holy half-dead who's seen the Underverse. Because he wants to, I think his idea was he wants to kill or convert every human life and then take everybody to a new universe.
Interesting.
Called the Underverse, a constellation of dark worlds. I know that because Dame Judi Dench told me that at the beginning of the movie, because she's in this.
There you go.
It's just, I don't know. I enjoyed it. It's Vin Diesel just delivering lines like when he kills the guy that killed the Imam, he goes, and Lord Marshal says, "Oh, that's I forget what his name was. That's Fulcrum, one of my best." And then Riddick says, "If you say so." That's Thandie Newton as Dame Baco. She's like a Lady Macbeth type.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I enjoyed this movie. It was a new take on space opera science fiction. That's Jack, who is now Kira, and she became a murderous outlaw like Riddick because he was trying to leave her with Imam, but she got too wild. Because I think she too was a Furian. I could be wrong here, but she has the same Riddick spirit, and she changed her name to Kira, and she was stuck on this prison planet called Crematoria. Are you following all of this?
Kind of, yeah.
It's a lot to follow with these movies, okay? The Holy Half-Dead sounds like quite a responsibility. It's weird because, you know what it is? It's like how you had those old dystopian movies when Arnold would be in them. So you have this weird, big epic space opera thing with these, but then Vin Diesel's it's just delivering his lines. He ends up by some twist of fate, he ends up killing the Lord Marshal at the end of this movie, and he's distraught here because unfortunately Kira died in the process trying to also help kill the Lord Marshal. Spoiler, I'm sorry. But then he sits on the throne, and then all the necromongers are surrounding him. And I figure they're going to try to kill him, right? Because they killed their master. Then suddenly they all kneel before him. Because in the necromongers, you keep what you kill. So if you kill the Lord Marshal, guess what? You're
Yep,
now the
you're
new
the
Lord
new
Marshal.
Lord
You are
Marshal,
their
right.
leader. And that's how it ends. And it's like, he didn't want it either. You know, he was an outlaw. He didn't even want to be found. He made an argument to Tubes. He was angry. He's like, I just wanted to be left alone. Okay?
Yeah.
Self-imposed exile, but they keep dragging him back. But now he's leading this group. And this brings us to the last movie that we've seen, which was Riddick, which I didn't even think we'd get a sequel.
Yeah.
This was back in 2013. I still consider this good old days because I consider the all the horrible stuff started happening in 2014. So we're still good.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I think people complain about the total shift. So what they decided to do. So what they decided to do was kind of take it back a little bit from the big epic that was Chronicles of Riddick, but they did it in a smart way because they didn't do it. They didn't negate what happened in the prior film. My dad used to equate Riddick to Conan. I think Riddick is kind of like a Conan type character, like a science fiction version of Conan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of see that. So what happens is Riddick gets betrayed by one of the necromongers, and they try to kill him. He falls to his death, but he doesn't. He survives, and they take off. So he's stuck on this planet where he has to basically, and he argues, you know what, I got too soft being commander of the necromongers. So he starts living in the wild again. He befriends one of these dog-like creatures at some point. First they want to kill him, and then he actually ends up taming them, basically. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, but he realizes that there's going to be some very nasty stormers coming that he won't survive, so he finds a abandoned like merc ship or some kind of post, and he basically punches it and says, hey, I'm Richard B. Riddick. I'm on this planet. And basically, he knows he's going to call mercs to the planet by doing that, and he's going to steal their ship and get off. Do you understand? So,
Yeah.
and there end up being two merc ships that show up. One's like a scummier merc ship, and the other, they're more professional. And guess who's part of the professional mercs? We have, if you look up there in the far corner, we have Katie Sackhoff.
Katie Sackhoff, yeah.
Yes, so Katie Sackhoff. These movies attract a lot of these science fiction alumni in them. I've noticed that. So, because you had Carl Urban in Chronicles, and he shows up. He has a cameo in this movie too. Oddly enough, he's not the one that portrays Riddick, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, she was in this. She's really cool in this too, actually.
She's pretty cool in just about every role I've seen her in.
Yeah, I'm not going to say what happens. It's another one of these scenarios where they got to get off the planet. They're horrible monsters and horrible weather, and they have to get off. And Riddick's idea was, look, two merc ships show up. That's great. I'll take one, and you all can leave in the other. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
And they, of course, we're going to capture you. You're not so tough. So Cersei starts killing some of them. You know what I mean? So it's like,
right.
Because he's Riddick. That's an old promotional thing. That's kind of funny, huh? That's her and Vin Diesel. Entertainment Weekly. I like that. Her name was Doll in this movie. That's interesting. I'm sub to the Katie Sackhoff podcast. I forgot she has a podcast now, doesn't she?
That's right.
I've seen clips of it. She talks about it. These are some of the horrible monsters. They remind me of scorpions, actually, in this movie. But definitely worth checking out if you haven't seen it. I'm not going to spoil any more of it for you. But I did bring up Riddick because I do consider Riddick the good old days. I also consider Riddick a science fiction series that, as luck would have it, didn't get wokeified because it happened before all that nonsense. We got the last movie. David Twohy and Vin Diesel keep tight creative control over this too. So I think it's safe. And we do have some Riddick news coming up later in the stream. That's why I brought this up. But how about you, Nat? Ever see these movies?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, you might get a kick out of them someday. Yeah, they're.
I mean, I've heard of them. I just haven't seen them.
It's basically it's like Space Conan, if we're being honest here. That's how I kind of look at it. Yes, because everyone calls him evil. Like Judy Jen says, the only way to fight evil, sometimes you have to fight it. Most times you fight it with good, but in times like these, we have to fight it with another kind of evil. So we're going to stick Riddick on the necromongers. You know, so it's just. I don't know. These monsters look like a raptor screwed a scorpion. But welcome, Darth Vader. Glad he never played Hannibal. Yeah, I know that was a big thing. We were going to get the Vin Diesel Hannibal movie, weren't we? But that never happened. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's it. Chronicles of Riddick. He's the villain we love to hate. We want to love because I think he's not really a villain. That's what I think. All right.
Sure.
I think he's an outlaw, and outlaws can be perceived as villains by the societies they're in, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're villains. I mean,
Agreed.
what did he want to be? He wanted to be left alone, so
Yeah.
I can't fault him there.
I mean, you could. That was a very similar story with Rambo, right?
Kind of, yeah. Oh, I love Rambo. In fact, you know what? That's another movie that takes place at Christmas time. Is First Blood.
That's a good point. I hadn't considered that.
Riddick is an anti-hero. Perfect. You know what, Darth Plato? I like that. I think that's true. I think he is an anti-hero. Because I think he does follow a code, and I don't think he hurts innocent people. Do you understand? Usually the people he goes after, they're either people working for bad people or they're kind of scuzzy bad people themselves. Do you understand? Like, I'm not going to be upset with him going after someone working in the Butcher Bay prison, because the Butcher Bay prison, from what I saw of it in the game, is horrible. You understand?
Right.
Like, it's inhumane how it's just awful. But yeah, he is an anti-hero. I would agree Riddick is an anti-hero. That's a good definition. Not a villain, because I think too many times people think of villain. Like, oh, Kylo Ren's an anti-hero. No, he's not.
No, he's not. He's a full-on villain.
He's a full-on villain. That's what I have. Katie could have easily played Sarah Connor. Katie should have played Sarah Connor.
Oh, yeah, that would have been good
Maybe
casting.
It's good enough. Hold on. What's this? Someone's arguing with me. That's okay. Sorry, Boomer. Riddick is evil. He murdered a bunch of people. That's why he got sent to prison in perpetual darkness. He was a serial killer who went from planet to planet. I don't know. I want to find out who he killed. I don't think he was killing, I don't know. Children. I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to think who he could have killed that people got so mad. I know that's how they portrayed him, but
yeah.
I think Riddick more along the lines of Sake Bliss. It's also possible in Chronicles they kind of dialed back I don't know. You know what? I'm talking too much about Riddick. Let's move on. Okay. I'm going to bore the chat. All right. Let's move on to Counter-Strike is in the news. Do you know what Counter-Strike is?
I don't. Not in this context, no.
I think that what it was, I think it's related to the Half-Life series. Don't quote me on that. I think it's a Valve shooter that I hadn't heard about in years, but I think it still has a big following in Europe. Okay? That's maybe why I don't really pay attention to it, because I don't hear Americans talking about Counter-Strike. But this was just a funny story that availed. Latest Counter-Strike 2 patch has skin collectors and a meltdown. This was funny. Okay, so Counter-Strike 2, I think it's an online first-person shooter. I think that's what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can play with other
I was
people.
thinking that it was a game.
Yeah, it's a game. It's a game. Counter-Strike 2's latest update has certainly put the cat among the pigeons, and feathers are flying. The innocuous-sounding patch extended functionality of the trade-up contract to allow exchanging 5 items of covert quality as follows. 5 stat track covert items can be exchanged for 1 stat track knife from a collection of 1 of the items provided. 5 regular covert items can be exchanged for 1 regular knife item, and 1 regular gloves item from a collection of 1 of the items provided. Now, don't ask me what all this means, but apparently what it means is people... It's kind of like how... I don't know if this is how World of Warcraft works, where you can find these rare items and then sell them to people.
Sure.
Do you understand?
Sense. Yeah.
These digital items, like you'll get, and I guess Counter-Strike did this too, and I read online that some guy had $60,000 worth of money tied up in all of this.
Wow.
For people to buy these rare items in the game. So what's the big deal? Anyone ever sees the sun might think. Counter-Strike 2 Wacky Economy has a certain constants, and one of those is that super rare, most valuable items are knives, and to a lesser extent gloves. Price for unique guns may well shoot into the stratosphere, but generally speaking, knives are the most sought-after commodity in the Counter-Strike 2 skin game. And until this update, you can only get a knife by either getting lucky when opening a case with minuscule chances or by straight up buying one on the Steam community market. Now players can trade up 5 covert items colored red into stat track knives, regular knives, and regular gloves. Covert items are not 10 a penny, but nor are they anywhere near as rare as the top-tier items. Therefore, Counter-Strike 2 has added a relatively achievable route for any player to work their way toward a desirable and high-rarity item. So let's say you are buying these rare items to hopefully sell for even higher, and you're spending a lot of your money to get these rare items, maybe to resell them.
Sure.
You just got royally screwed with this update.
Yeah.
You won't have to go far to find reports of the skins market tanking in value from anywhere from $1 billion to $2 billion. That gap of a mere billion between estimates is why I urge extreme caution over some of the sums being thrown around here. Bloomberg reports that $1.75 billion in market value fell out of Counter-Strike 2 skins overnight following this update. But these estimates always led back to third-party skin platforms and traders who self-evidently have an interest in inflating value, and the high-end prices are so entangled with crypto and other speculative assets that I'm not convinced that a firm dollar amount can be assigned to the market. All I know is I was watching reactions of guys online and they were screaming. They were furious.
I can understand why someone would get upset about this. You have certain expectations. You're spending money based on those expectations, and then they do something like this.
So this is basically like Beanie Babies, where the guy started making more of them when he said he wasn't going to make them anymore. I don't know.
Well, maybe, yeah.
I don't know who still plays Counter-Strike 2, but I guess it's big in Europe. But is it me as the character with the red shirt is giving the Team Fortress 2 Scout vibes? Maybe, I don't know. Like I said, this was never my series. I was big into Half-Life. Counter-Strike is just a run-and gun hoot built from the Half-Life engine. I never messed with it despite my Half-Life ties. Okay, so I know they included it with some of the Half-Life bundles, but I guess it's not really a Half-Life game. It's just a shooter. But apparently it's so popular enough that people can sell these things for a lot of money, and it's $1 billion industry. Did you know this?
It doesn't surprise me.
So I guess the lesson is here, this stuff is not going to be worth a fortune forever, and you don't own the game. And if the people that own the game want to change the rules, they can destroy your economy. Yeah. Guys, I will share no tears because the majority of these people who are complaining are the ones who are trying to resell the scans for wild amounts of money.
True. I'll tell you something else though. The initial way you get it, you could be spending just as much money trying to get it and never actually getting it, throwing away money at the company for nothing. It's gambling basically. So at least you're spending 100, 1,000, whatever amount of money. If it's worth it to you, I would say that's fair.
I still prefer to play Doom and Quake on my Windows PC. I'm right there with you, Wallace Lang. I love Quake and I love Doom. I'm not gonna besmirch anybody who wants to get certain things in gas. There's a package that I want to get right now in Star Trek Online. I can't justify it. It would cost me about $100 if I wanted to get the thing. But right, because online does the same thing, right? But can people resell the stuff they buy? That's my question to other players.
Absolutely, they can. Well, once it's bought, maybe not. But the in quotes key that you buy in order to get it, you could buy that key and then resell it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, technically you can. Yeah.
All right. So, but yeah, apparently this was a big disaster for people in this economy. But like I said, it's a slow news week. But enormously popular game, attracts roughly 30 million players a month while standing among Steam's best sellers. So this must be the big game on Steam that people play online because it is made by Steam. And like I said, I heard it's still very big in Europe. But I thought people were playing Call of Duty and things like that right now. But all right. Not much on the gaming front this week. That's why I picked that. And we have this game, which is called Neon Inferno. Retro running gun madness at its best. Side-scrolling running gun games were huge in the 90s. Do you miss them? Well, Zenobia and Retroware's new pixel art title Neon Inferno is a game every 90s kid would have raved about and added to their greatest of all time list. The amazing pixel art, music, and high-octane action will have you reminiscing about the good old days in the best way possible. I kept thinking back to the days of playing Mega Man X4 in an arcade cabinet. Time to throw those rose-colored nostalgia glasses off and take a look at Neon Inferno as a modern classic. Does this intense indie game stack up? And already a stacked year. And by the way, I went to a lot of work to get this article because it's on MSN.com, and man, that is a nasty site. Have you been on there lately?
No, I have not.
Like we complain about modern websites, saying how it's all pop-ups and other nonsense?
Yeah.
That's all this is. And
Gosh.
Neon Inferno takes players to the cyberpunk jungle of New York City in the year 2055. Here, the Big Apple is dirty and overrun with crime. Players can take control of Angelo or Mariana, skilled assassins belonging to one crime family. I'm getting the impression this is like cyberpunk mafia game. Do you understand?
Sure.
Like you're members of a mafia, because it looks like an Italian mafia from the looks of it too. As one of these characters, gamers are looking to turn the all-out gang wars in their family's favor. The citywide conflict has boiled over, and you must do your part to take out key players, take on beautiful hybrid run-and-gun gallery shooter stages, either solo or with a friend. Much like Mega Man, you can choose the order in which you tackle all the stages and their respective bosses. The gameplay is your standard run-and-gun style, but with some twists. Your parties can send green projectiles back at enemies, and you can even trigger bullet time to aim where the deflected items were hit. Press RB or R1 allows you to shoot into the background like a gallery shooter. Okay, so your real criticism they have of Neo Inferno is that it isn't very long. I know it's award season. If this game is eligible for any indie distinctions, it deserves some nominations. So yeah, I don't know. Just thought I'd bring this up. It looked neat.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Looks cool. Looks like Double Dragon. They've done redos of Double Dragon in recent years. Actually, they did one last year. I think it was called Rise of the Dragons. But I think this is more like a Contra, if I'm being honest with you, or a Metal Slug game where you just go around shooting at people. But I don't know. I just thought the theme was cool, and it's indie, so we want to support our indies. And 2 new Evercade cartridges announced for February 2026, including the Turrican Collection. I'm a big fan of the Evercade. Do you know what the Evercade is? If I told you about this before.
I don't think so.
Okay, so we're going into the really nerdy stuff here. This is okay. So the Evercade is a British company decided to release a kind of a retro console that plays cartridges, and they put a bunch of games on each cartridge. And in fact, they remember those portable systems I got you, the
Sure.
Atari
Mhm.
one and the Tata one. Same company makes those as well, and you can even play Evercade cartridges on them. But it's just kind of neat. They're releasing a Turrican collection and a Tato collection. Turrican from Factor 5 includes 16-bit running gunners along with 2 bonus titles, Mega Turrican, Score Tech, and Super Turrican, Score Tech. So you get all the Turrican games. Turrican, Turrican 2, The Final Fight, Turrican 3, Mega Turrican, Super Turrican 2, Super Turrican Director's Cut. What do you think of that? These games were big on the... They were big on the Amiga and the Commodore 64 when they first came out.
Cool.
And you know, yeah.
I remember those systems.
Okay. I don't know if you played Turrican on them.
systems.
They're not including the Commodore 64 versions, though. I did see a vintage Atari at my local antique shop for $75 with 2 controllers and 5 games, and they make a repro of those consoles now too, so you can buy one that actually hooks up to an HD TV. But the cartridges will work on it, even the old cartridges work on it. And they're also releasing the Tato Arcade 3, which includes Kadash, Calmetry, Crazy Balloon Football Champ, Puzzle Bob, Lunar Rescue, Quicks, Fairyland Story, and Zookeeper. Tato, of course, made Space Invaders.
Right.
They already included Space Invaders with Volume 1, so they're not going to do that again. But they got Puzzle Bobble, which is the game. You might have seen this in movie theaters, arcades, where you can play one of the 2 little dinosaurs and shoot your bubbles up and pop bubbles on top of you. It's a puzzle game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, all right. Just thought I'd let everybody know that these are coming out. If you are into old school gaming, they're rather cheap. I mean, I saw that at my local Sam's Club store. Interesting. Okay. RAM prices are so out of control that stores are selling it like lobster.
Yeah.
I bring this up because I was watching a YouTube video this week, and basically a lot of this stuff, when Microsoft was blaming the increased prices of consoles on tariffs, he thinks they were lying. He thinks the consoles are increasing price because of the skyrocketing price of RAM because of the AI race. And I think they were deflecting it. Okay, Michael Kreider's headline at PC World Today perfectly captures how ridiculously the PC memory shortage has become. Stores like San Francisco Bay Area Central Computers are beginning to sell RAM at market prices like you'd pay for the catch of the day at a seafood restaurant. Costs are fluctuating daily as manufacturers and distributors adjust to limited supply and high demand, reads a message posted at the store's display case as spotted by Steve Lynn. Because of this, we can display fixed prices at this time. We can't display fixed prices this time. Micro Center is apparently doing the same. Due to market volatility, we ask you to please see a sales associate for price, reads an in-store message captured by Redditor Cass Texas. It's so hard to overstate just how quickly the RAM crunch is changing the affordability of computers, and it might soon impact other realms as well, as everything from game consoles to smartphones require RAM to function. So, you're a computer guy. How important is RAM?
It's important. I mean, it's how much you can render at any given time. And then now, of course, there's the difference between the RAM for the program and the RAM for the video.
Okay.
So there's video RAM, but yeah, both are important.
So it says 3 months ago yesterday, I bought 32 gigabytes of memory for my gaming PC for the price. That exact kit has more than tripled since then. It now costs $300 more. 440 versus 130. In case you're curious, a more common version of the same kit went from 105 to 400. Some prices have doubled since October, while you can still find some 32 gigabyte kits as low as 230. A 64 gigabyte DDR5 kit can easily run you $700, $800, even $900. Does that strike you as a lot?
I mean, it sounds like a lot to me, but then again,
Okay.
you know.
Some high-profile product launches might be impacted by the price of memory. Valve points at the RAM crunch as the one reason it couldn't promise a specific price for its Steam machine that we mentioned the other week. Just out-of-control GPU prices from earlier this year have finally settled down. Runaway memory prices might make them shoot back up again. Every graphics card requires gobs of VRAM. More is better.
That's the video RAM, yeah.
Right, gotcha. And word is that NVIDIA and AMD are preparing to raise prices to compensate for the crunch. Digital Foundry is recommending that you buy a GPU or at or below MSRC manufacturers this retail price while you can. One with 10 gigabyte or more VRAM. Leaker Moore's Law is dead claims that Microsoft may have to raise Xbox prices yet again to compensate, but that Sony has stockpiled enough RAM for the PS5 to last some number of months. So Sony, interestingly enough, saw this happening and they stockpiled. So they wouldn't have to raise the price of their consoles. So that's interesting that they did that. Epic CEO Tim Sweeny says it may take years for high-end gaming to recover from the RAM crunch because of AI. He says factories are diverting leading-edge DRAM capacity to meet AI needs, where data centers are bidding far higher than consumer device markets. So this is because of the data centers for the AI. They're in demand because they keep building more and more data centers, so they need more and more RAM. Is that right?
You're right.
And there's not enough RAM to keep up. And since the data centers are willing to pay more for the RAM than the people that make the game consoles, that means probably fewer game consoles, and those that exist will be more money.
Yep.
Question. I might be sounding naive here. Let's say something that plays very old school games. Does that still need RAM?
Yes, usually not as much.
Okay. Because I was wondering if maybe because the Switch 2 was less powered, but that still requires probably a lot of RAM even on that. Okay, so everything is going to go up in price. Okay. So I'm talking 2,600 years. Okay, well, we might be going back there. Does the 2,600 need RAM? That's my next question.
It was pretty standard. I mean, it was limited in what it had, and it couldn't go any higher.
Well, what I'm trying to say is the Atari 7800 Plus, you can buy that now, so maybe that'll be the go-to game console for the future because no one can afford. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. Okay. I don't know. I thought you'd find that interesting because it was computer related.
Oh yeah.
Okay. The Housemaid trailer. Sydney Sweeney cleans Amanda Siegfried's. I always say Siegfried, but they don't have the G here. Siegfried's haunted ? House for Paul Feig. I didn't know who Paul Feig was. I was like, that name sounds familiar, and then I realized, oh, that's the dude behind
2016 Ghostbusters. Yeah,
not Answer the Calls. They tried putting a title on it later on.
Right.
Deck the halls with Fatal Attraction posters and start counting down the days for Paul Feig's The Housemaid, a slippery suburban thriller starring Amanda Seyfried as a creepy rich lady and Sydney Sweeney as her lamb led to the slaughter through a working-class job. From Lionsgate, the upcoming release date adapts author Freida McFadden's best-selling novel and is expected in theaters December 19th. The Housemaid casts the Oscar-nominated Siegfried as Nina Winchester, a buttoned-up homeowner who seems to be hiding more than your average yuppie secret. Sweeny plays Millie, a cleaner-for-hire who, even wearing certified She's All That glasses, looks a little too hot for the live-in housemaid position, with the instantly intense Nina and her overly slick husband, Andrew, played by Brandon Skelner. Siegfried has sustained her power. Siegfried has sustained her power at the box office ever since Mamma Mia made her a household name, following her striking portrayal of convicted fraudster Elizabeth Holmes for Hulu's The Dropout. This darker turn for Siegfried promises to escalate the woman-on-woman crime of Feig's A Simple Favor duology through classic horror movie magic and A-list pairing we haven't seen yet. A picture-perfect wife with only a crack in her smile. Nina has to be hiding something, but why and what is it? She's joined by Sweeny, who's generating more PR controversies than performances these days. What PR controversies?
The ones that they want to invent in their own heads.
The people attack her. She's not doing anything. I'm just being honest here when I say that. Okay, still.
True.
The Anyone But You actress continues to entertain for good and bad, and Sweeny plays the obvious victim in the trailer. Of course, it's never that clear cut with Feig, who loves and makes changes when he's adapting novels. Oh no. That might be a problem with this. I didn't think about that he would change the novel. I want to bring up that the Housemaid books, they're very popular, and I think that this could be a hit series. Like, this doesn't have to end with this movie. There are lots of Housemaid novels, and they can keep bringing Sydney Sweeny back, because apparently this character she plays, she also has a dark secret that makes her take these desperate jobs. You understand? That she had some working for people who are shady. Do you understand? So,
right.
I don't know. Netta, have you read these books, the Housemaid books?
No, I have not.
Okay, they're going out like gangbusters at the library, but the impression was like she'll take a job at this rich person's house and everything looks nice, and they say just don't go into the room on the second floor. Do never go in there. You know, that sort of thing. And it's like, I don't know, but I don't know. I don't like the idea of Paul Feig though changing the novel. Do you want a career, Paul Feig? Just leave it alone. This movie will make a lot of money at the box office. I'm hoping it'll help launch Sydney Sweeney's career. Because she hasn't had like a big movie hit yet. Like, she's had all this side stuff. Like, she's been in like Madam Web, which was not a hit. I didn't even know these books exist. I didn't either, but like in the last 6 months, I keep seeing them, and people are screaming for Frida McFadden books. And I'm seeing a bunch, like The Housemaid is Watching, The Housemaid's Secret, like Housemaid. She's been cranking them out, so it's a thriller series. I've not read them. I can't speak for their quality, but I brought this up because I thought this might be something that launches Sydney Sweeney's career, so we'll see.
Sure.
All right, moving on to Vin Diesel unleashes.
This looks like a familiar topic.
Yes, Vin Diesel unleashes furious new look at Riddick 4. Yes. Okay, so it's been 12 years that the long-awaited return of Vin Diesel as Richard B. Riddick is finally happening. The action star has now unleashed a new look at the upcoming sci-fi action sequel, and it finds the actor back in character and sporting the reflective eyes that have become so synonymous with the intergalactic outlaw. So the movie is called Riddick Furia. Taking to Instagram, Diesel shared the image of his Riddick returning alongside the caption, "What these Furian eyes have seen." While the image doesn't give too much away, we're still waiting patiently for the first footage from the follow-up. Seeing Diesel back in character is exciting enough for now. However, with this in mind, he needs to hurry up with that trailer, as fans have been waiting for over a decade. Set to be written and directed once again by David Twohy alongside creators Jim and Ken Wheat, the sci-fi action sequel not only finds Vin Diesel as the lead, but also as a producer on the project. Along the new image, the official synopsis for Riddick Fury has been released and reads, Riddick finally returns to his home world, a place he barely remembers and one he fears might be left in ruins. But there he finds other Furians fighting for their existence against a new monster, and some of these Furians are more like Riddick than he could ever have imagined. Isn't that interesting, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's expanding. So, yeah, we got a new Riddick movie coming out. Yay.
Cool.
Since Fast and the Furious is done. I don't know. I'm waiting for the second part to. Oh, yeah, he's got Last Witch Hunter coming out, too. The Last Witch Hunter 2. Is that the one they dragged Michael Caine out of retirement for? Last Witch Hunter 2.
I think so, yeah.
Have you seen Last Witch Hunter?
I have not. I just remember us
It's
talking
about
about
a witch hunter in modern times hunting witches.
Right.
In fact, I think he started out in medieval times and he got cursed, and now he's like immortal and he hunts witches. I think that's what the plot was.
Who wants to live forever?
Yeah, it was interesting. But is the Triple X series done? I think with the last one it should be, because I thought it was terrible, but that's just me. Oh. Ruby Rose was in the last Triple X. Someone mentioned this in the chat last week. I thought we should bring it up. Were you a fan of the Stargate show?
I never really got into it. I liked the movie. I never really got into the series.
I watched a couple episodes of the show, but yeah, I couldn't get into it.
Okay, I never got into it either, so why am I...
I hear it's got a huge, deep lore. It's got as much of a following, I guess, as Star Trek does.
So this is for Big Al. I know he was a fan. Okay, Amazon is officially moving forward with a new Stargate TV series. Variety has learned the new project hails from Martin Gero, who began his career in the original Stargate TV franchise. Exact plot details for the series are being kept under wraps. The series will be produced by Amazon MGM Studios and air on Prime Video. 20 years ago, my first real job in television was a story editor in Stargate Atlantis. Gero said, I spent 5 years at the franchise working across all 3 series. Stargate taught me everything about making television. It's written into my DNA. I'm beyond thrilled that Amazon MGM Studios has entrusted me with guiding this incredible franchise into its next phase. For those who've kept the gate active through conventions, rewatches, and unwavering faith, this one's for you. And for those who are new to our world, I promise you're in for something extraordinary. Gero will serve as writer, executive producer, and showrunner for the new Stargate. Executive producers will include Joe Harold and Troy Tunnell for Safe Out Pictures, as well as Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich, who co-wrote the original film, which Emmerich directed. All right, well, I'll say this. From the sound of it, it sounds all right. If you're a fan, this might be for you. Yeah, so I don't know. Stargate SG-1 was way better than... I get it. It has its fans.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I sometimes I like a story that just tells the story and they're done with it. You know, you don't have to make a whole universe out of it.
Well, they did. It had Richard Dean Anderson on it, didn't it?
Yeah.
Hold on one second. All right, so let's see here. Anything left to say about Stargate?
No, I am happy for the fans. I hope they do a good job. This is Amazon, so keep your fingers crossed. Welcome, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Good to see you.
Yes, welcome. So yeah, I don't know. Might be good. Hope it's. I'm terrified of that Blade Runner series they're doing, but we'll see. Arrow confirms February 2026 slate with major 4K restorations and cult classics. I'm very excited about this. Arrow Video has unveiled an exceptional program of February 2026 home entertainment releases, presenting a lineup that blends landmark 4K restorations, bold genre reinventions, and long-awaited collector's upgrades. From a sweeping Arthurian epic to Korean cult cinema, new J-horror, from a genre master, and sci-fi icons restored with state-of-the-art clarity, this is another striking slate of must-own releases. Excalibur receives a definitive 4K restoration. Y'all listening to this?
Yep.
Leading the month is Excalibur, arriving on limited edition 4K Ultra HD and limited edition Blu-ray. And don't worry, they will put out a standard edition later on, too. Frequently celebrated as John Boorman's most ambitious work, this film traces the full arc of Arthurian legend, from Uther Pendragon's downfall to the rise and fall of Camelot, with a remarkable cast including Helen Mirren, Gabriel Byrne, Nicole Williamson, and Liam Neeson, and featuring Alex Thompson's striking Oscar-nominated cinematography. Excalibur remains a towering piece of fantasy cinema. Arrow's Video's all-new 4K restoration elevates the film's metallic sheen, mystical lighting, and mist-shrouded battlefields to new levels of clarity. The 3-disc set includes 2 cuts of the film, brand new commentaries, Moorman's archival track, an unreleased documentary by Neil Jordan, new interviews, and extensive written material. Do you know what the other cut of the movie is they're including?
No.
The television cut.
Oh, interesting.
I've always found television cuts fascinating. I don't know why they don't include them with more editions when they bring them out. And that'll probably only be available in the limited edition. Probably that'll be nixed for the standard edition. But either way, I'm very excited about this because, frankly, I think Warner Brothers has been terrible to this movie, not giving it the respect it deserves, not giving it the restoration it deserved, and I'm very happy that somehow Arrow got their hands on this, and it's going to get a very nice Blu-ray or DVD or 4K Blu-ray. You buy it on
We've talked about this a number of times. How thankfully these boutique outlets exist and are willing to put the effort in where the studios themselves are not. And you gotta. I mean, for when it comes to I almost said Camelot, Excalibur here. Just remember, you probably wouldn't even know the piece of music O Fortuna from Carmina Burana if it weren't for this.
Yes, that's right. That was in the very beginning of the movie, as I recall, right? Yeah.
And then when they write out later on.
And, that scene. Because I brought this up, we talked about Excalibur. One of my favorite parts of the movie is when they go on the quest for the Holy Grail, right?
Yep.
And it starts out kind of intense, and then suddenly it gets rather dour, and you see Percival, and you see a knight in the background. A Percival goes up to the knight. It's me, Percival, and he turns the knight around, and it's a skeleton. And he says, "We will never find it." Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's losing hope because they need the Grail to. Yeah, I hope they cut the screen to small. I don't know. What are you talking about? The picture you see here? This was a 1.85-to-1 shot movie, I believe. It was a full look into the eyes of the dragon. Yeah, Merlin's in this, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Merlin was kind of a nutter in this, wasn't he?
He was kind of like kind of like an eccentric Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, there was a. I remember what Arthur says. I think he mentions he loves Guinevere or love. He mentions something about love, and he's like, love. Never has anything destroyed you human so much than love. He's like, he gets all angry about the romantic love because he's
especially because he sees, when you're a long-lived being like
Merlin, yes,
like Merlin is, he can see the patterns, and he sees the son repeating the patterns of the father.
Uther Pendragon.
Exactly.
With Igraine, yes. They didn't shy away from certain scenes in this either that were in Le Morte d'Arthur, right? That's what
exactly.
That's the version it's based on. It's weird. There have been so many interpretations of King Arthur over the years. There was apparently John Steinbeck worked on King Arthur stories. Did you know that?
I did not.
Big American literature guy, but he loved the King Arthur stories. I didn't know that. He even wrote some.
Well, then there was, of course, the Once and Future King, which they kind of adapted. Disney kind of adapted into the Sword and the Stone.
Was that also the basis for the musical Camelot?
To a lesser degree, yes.
Yeah, for the older point, because the Sword and the Stone's the beginning part. And then there are a bunch of other weird things. There's a new J-horror diptych. Santa, let me hear. I don't know what they just said there. That's going to be part of this. Okay. Save the Green Planet. Do you know what that is?
I do not.
American Yakuza arrives with 2K restoration, featuring an early lead performance by Viggo Mortensen. The film follows an undercover FBI agent who finds himself deeply embedded in a violent conflict between the mafia and a Japanese crime family. Interesting.
Hold on a second. I want to address this. But Arthur only had eyes for Guinevere. Yes, but he fathered a child with his half-sister.
Yes, he did. Now, in this movie,
the point that Merlin makes is that he has seen love destroy people and kingdoms, and he sees it happening again.
Now in this movie, it's because Morgan Le Fay disguises herself as Guinevere, kind of in the same fashion that his father was disguised as the Prince husband.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
what I thought was interesting now on the Merlin series,
Uh huh.
the miniseries Sam Neill was interesting. No, he just had a tryst because he's like, "Look, I'm king now." He wasn't married yet though to Guinevere when that happened, but it was when, and he didn't know who Morgan Le Fay was. Do you understand?
I
And
will
that's
say,
how.
admittedly, that there is just like uh, I almost said Sherlock, almost like with Robin Hood.
There's conflicting stories about Arthur.
Yeah, there's different stories, and so there's
Like
different
some,
narratives you
I
can
think
draw.
some
Yeah.
he's chaste until marriage, others he was a womanizer, so it was like
Right.
a different thing. Yeah, so it's just
Well, and the other thing too is that I could see a modern writer wanting to tell that tale, drawing the correlation between JFK
yes,
and Arthur because of the whole Camelot thing.
yes, very interesting. Just like his father did with the mother. Yeah, Arthur should have stayed single. Well, I don't know. A king needs a queen, though. Though I imagine with the Knights of the Round Table, they're all equal. If he died, one of them could have been selected as king, right?
Well, there
No, the
would
Lady
have
of the
to be
Lake had to choose. Okay, never mind. I don't know.
either that or there would need to be a line of succession. Like it would have had to have been established. Well, Lancelot, as my first knight, you're the next in line.
This was a problem with Beowulf because there was no line of succession for Beowulf the king in the old poem.
Right.
It's very important to have a lines of succession, or the kingdom could fall apart or go into civil war, right?
But for a legendary character
Yeah.
like this, that if you want to say he was the first king of Britain,
Yep.
and there is no direct lineage to the current kings and queens, you got to see that line end, and then the more historically known ones take over. So
I don't know if this is part of the Arthurian legend or if I just heard this on the show Gargoyles, but one of the things was that when England needs King Arthur, he will come back.
that is implied by Once and Future King. Oh, I think it's actually specifically stated when he is taken off to Avalon.
Avalon.
They say he will return when Britain is in its time of greatest need, which is the where the story Camelot 3000 in the DC Comics line comes from.
Interesting.
This great futuristic story set in the year 3000, where all of the characters of Arthurian legend are reincarnated. Some of them even as aliens, and in at least one case, a male character becoming female, being reincarnated as a female.
Interesting. They need him now, says deleted scenes.
Well, that's for damn sure. Yeah.
I'm thinking if something were to happen to the current royal family, that would be the most dire time when there's no line of succession for anybody.
Actually, I think it would probably be if the current royal line were to cease, they might actually be better off. There is nothing that king isn't doing anything for their government.
Oh no! Right now, no. Charles. I didn't think it was going to be Charles. I thought they were going to skip him and go to his son. I thought that was going to be the.
Well, and we have no way of knowing what his current health is like. But with the cancer situation, he may not be there long. So.
Okay, I had heard what I had originally heard rumor though that they were just going to skip him and therefore he could be with his mistress or girlfriend and leave him alone, and that it would go to his son, and that would be the new king. But then I guess he ended up being king after the queen.
You mean Queen Consort Longface? Yeah.
I don't know who quite. Anyway, yes, I guess I see what you're talking about. Yes. Dang it! I was just typing Camelot 3000, and when you said that, says Robert Infinite Realms.
Yeah.
I'll mention one of the other big Arrow releases coming up. They are doing a restoration of Westworld.
Cool. Yul Brynner, right?
Yeah, the old Brenner one. Yeah, not the TV show.
Not that new one. Yeah.
I was on board with the TV show until
The first season was great.
Yes.
Then it just went to complete hell.
they did time switcheroos too much. Like there was stuff in the first season. In fact, what I thought was clever about the first season, you sort of saw an outline of the Yul Brynner
Yeah,
gunslinger in one of the
yeah,
shops, and I'm
exactly.
thinking, oh, is this the same Westworld from the movie, but this many years later? Do you understand?
Yeah.
like they because this is why the robots were more sophisticated in the one on the show, and I thought, oh, is this like a sequel? That's what I was almost thinking it was, but and they're also doing some movie called The Visitor. Have you heard of that one? It's a cult favorite.
I don't
Celebrates the
know.
most lightly unclassifiable films in the late 1970s, blending science fiction, supernatural horror, and esoteric mysticism. The film features a striking ensemble cast including John Huston, Shelley Winters, Glenn Ford, Franco Nero, and Sam Peckinpah.
Huh.
I've never heard of this movie, so
I haven't either.
this is why we love the boutique labels.
Yep.
Okay.
And then all it takes is one person in our community to come out and say, "Oh, you got to see it. This is a great movie." Yeah, okay, well, then we end up watching it.
Westworld is a movie I need to see. You know what's interesting? Michael Crichton wrote the screenplay, I believe, right?
Yes.
And he also wrote Jurassic Park. He got a thing about theme parks.
Yes, he did.
And what were the different theme parks? There was a medieval world, there was an ancient Greece world, and there was Westworld. I know on the show they had mentioned 7 parks. We saw one of them, which was, of course, based on feudal Japan with the samurai. That was another
Yep.
park they had there. I imagine one of the parks, and this is going to sound nasty, but it would be like a really terrible fairy tale theme park where it's like this is the park you didn't want to work at, and like
Oh,
it was either for like the kids for their fantasies or for adults with messed up fantasies regarding characters like Snow White or Cinderella and things like that. That was always my idea for one of the parks in this Westworld thing. Because you could go around and you could torture the robots if you wanted to, right? You know, you could do whatever
Yep.
you wanted to them. That's what's messed up about the show. Why would you do that, you know?
well, because they're robots and apparently ostensibly non-sentient.
Yeah, essentially non-sentient, and they would wipe their memories. But then I think I think they started remembering everything that happened to them later on. So
Mm-hmm.
they didn't have a good opinion of humans. Oh, here we go.
Yep.
Simu Liu calls out Hollywood for lack of representation of Asian actors. We're fighting a deeply prejudiced system. Let's get to it. Simu Liu is calling out the Hollywood industry for a lack of visibility of Asian actors in cinema. In a social media post, the star of Marvel's Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings shared his thoughts on the lack of representation of his community. Put some Asians in literally anything right now. The amount of backslide and a representation on screen is effing appalling, Liu shared in his threads. Studios think we're risky. Liu shared his view on the industry after reading a post calling for more Asian men to be cast in romantic lead roles. The actor pointed to titles like Minari, Farewell, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Crazy Rich Asians, and his own Marvel's movies as examples of films that did well at the box office. Every single one a financial success, Liu added. No Asian actor ever lost a studio even close to $100 million, but a white dude will lose $200 million twice and roll right into the next tentpole lead. We're fighting a deeply prejudiced system, and most day it sucks. This is not the first time Liu has called out lack of representation of Asian actors in Hollywood. In 2023, replied to an article that noted he was getting the bulk of Asian make roles. Liu replied to the Facebook post saying, "Way to attempt to put us against one another. What bulk of roles are you referring to? Are there movies that I'm in that I'm not aware of? Do you think there is a quota of Asian male roles that is a zero-sum game? Everything I've taken post Shang-Chi was not written Asian. We've been able to reshape stories and get more representation on screen. Get your facts straight." All right. There's a bit to unpack here. Well, I almost feel like he was going against his own argument. He's pointing out these movies that have done well, like Crazy Rich Asians. That was a mostly
Right.
Asian cast. Did very well
Yep.
at the box office. Do you know who he's talking about actor-wise?
I'm guessing he's got to be talking about Ki Hoi Kwan.
No, I'm talking about the white dude who lost the money at the box office twice.
Oh, that I don't know.
Jared Leto. I know he's talking about
Oh,
Jared
that
Leto.
makes sense.
I think
Because
he's talking,
I'm sitting here thinking, Short Round is out there, kicking it,
You know.
I like him. I listen to me. This is not the audience. To be fair, I don't know if he's necessarily targeting the audience. He's targeting the
Well,
system. I don't think
I
the
mean, this is just speaking to what we were saying here in the chat. Clues like, oh, is this more of that diversity? Well, that's what Simu would have you believe, but in reality, it's just him playing the victim card. And I'm sorry that doesn't jive anymore. It really doesn't. When you have had over a decade of this forced diversity, this DEI kind of crap. I'm sorry, you were given these roles on a silver platter, and it just like Lynn was saying, Shang-Chi should have been Bruce Lee. It should have been the Marvel equivalent of Bruce Lee. But Simu doesn't have the skill, the competence, certainly the charisma that Bruce Lee did. And this is the problem. We talk about this all the time. This kind of a comment, this kind of a public statement is the exact opposite of what they want to be doing if they want to be successful as celebrities. All you're doing is pushing more and more people away and making people really hate you. And it's not Asian people they're hating, it's you personally, Simu.
If you want to make a movie about Asian movies, you should have to make a movie about the U.S. Army 44-2 Japanese-American unit that fought World War II against the Germans and rescued another unit. No, that'd be a great story. And listen, I don't think audiences, and to be fair, I will say this, I think Hollywood has gotten better about casting Asians in leads. I'll say this, they were bad years ago. I'm not going to lie about that. I remember poor Maggie Q had to run off to Hong Kong and she was very popular over there, and she was like, "Yeah, but I don't speak Chinese," because she was half Chinese, half Irish American, and she was good about it, and she wasn't like him whining about it. But I always thought that she should have been a lead.
I have said this many times before, and I'm going to say it again. If you feel this strongly about it, you are in a position to do something about it.
Exactly.
Feel free to produce movies like. What was the Asian
Crazy Rich Asians? Very successful.
Crazy Rich Asians. Feel free to produce, direct, write, and make an Asian-based film and hire Asian actors to play Asian characters. You know who did that and did it very successfully? Spike Lee. He didn't just complain about the plight of black people, in the entertainment. Well, he might have done. I don't know if he did. But he actually did something about it. And he told the stories that told the message he wanted to tell. And he became successful doing it. Nothing says you can't do that, Simu. But no, you would rather complain and say, oh, poor me. People don't like me because I'm Asian. No, people don't like you because you're you. That's why people don't
I'm getting
like
John Leguizamo vibes off this guy with all the complaining. Because I'm looking at John Leguizamo, and I'm thinking John Leguizamo has had a career most actors would dream about, all right?
Yeah.
And I was watching a scene from John Wick the other day, and he's in John Wick. You're in John Wick, even if it's in a smaller part. You're in all of these very important movies.
Right.
And I guess why? Because you're not the Brad Pitt. I don't really know what he's complaining. I don't get it.
And again, these celebrities, they live these celebrity lifestyles. Look, you can do whatever you want with your money, but I would say maybe live just a little bit more of a frugal life and save up that money, invest it wisely, and then start making your own movies. You know who's doing a great job of that? Sydney Sweeney.
Yes. Smart woman. And I'm going to say this too. I feel like too, him yelling, we all know who he's talking about. He's talking about Jared Leto. I don't know who else he could be talking about. The 200 million loss. He's talking about Morbius, and he's talking about Tron Ares. Tron Ares, oddly enough, who did have an Asian lead in the female lead in it as the head of the company. So I don't know why he's going after Tron Ares, but he was complaining about the fact that, I mean, he didn't say Tron Ares, but it has to be Jared Leto. I don't know who else he's talking about.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't think these movies would have been more successful with you in them. I don't think it was necessarily the actor that was the problem with those movies. I think they just weren't good movies and that people didn't want to see.
Well, the only way the actor is going to be the make or break for a movie is if people absolutely feel they have to go see a movie with so-and-so in it. And this is not the way to make yourself desirable to audiences. This is a way to make sure that your next movie flops, because nobody wants to see you in a movie because you're an asshole. That's basically what it comes down to.
And that, but and I also brought up the point that what are you looking at? You're looking at Morbius, which is a Marvel property, which he also belongs to,
right?
And then you're looking at Tron, which is Disney, and it's like you shouldn't be maybe slapping the hand that feeds you, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, he's a Disney employee, isn't he? I mean, he's Shang-Chi. So
I don't know if he's still under contract or not. I mean, do you think they're going to do another Shang-Chi movie?
I thought they were going to put him in that Doomsday movie coming out. Who's going to be in the Doomsday movie at this point?
We don't really know. They've
I mean,
they're changing the story every week. We'll see what happens.
I don't know. I still haven't forgiven him for that Boba Tea thing, which
oh god,
I think he was attacking those business owners that I think meant well, and he was just throwing them under the bus.
Yeah, because Asian people own tapioca balls. You're not allowed to have any.
I don't know. Anyway, though, but yeah, I don't get it. But all right. Anything left to say about him?
No. The less said about him, the better.
How about you, Netter? Any thoughts?
Not really.
He could just be virtue signaling.
I mean, he's
what else does he have?
Just from that picture, he looks so darn smug. You just want to smack him.
The actors don't even know who's in Doomsday.
True.
Sure. Is Robert Downey Jr. in Doomsday? Because I know they're selling him, right?
I'll bet you he's playing multiple roles in it.
Is he going to play... And none of them Tony Stark, I bet, right?
No. I think there's going to be a version of Tony Stark in there. I think he's going to also play a version of Doom. And who knows? He may even play, Captain Marvel and I don't know, Captain America and Thor, too. I don't know.
Maybe someone will come up behind him and maybe Wanda will come up behind him and kill, like, alternative version Tony Stark. Kill him all over again.
Gosh, here we go. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. Let's move on. I'm trying to stretch this out because we're down to our last story.
No. It's a holiday weekend. It's okay if we wrap it early.
All right. Home Alone turns 35, and Macaulay Culkin, the kid, is all right.
That's good to hear.
I'm not going to read this whole thing. This is a rather long interview, but I'm going to pick out my favorites though. But Culkin is now 45 years old. Huh?
Yeah.
People get older. Were you a Home Alone fan?
Oh yeah, of course I was. Well, this was one of the what's it called?
John Hughes.
It's a John Hughes movie, so of course I love this movie.
I almost feel like this is a culmination. Go ahead.
I watched the first one. I caught part of the second one, and I haven't watched any other ones.
Okay.
And I told you I had a buddy in high school who was an extra in this movie, and he was the body double for the taller of the two criminals. I forget his name.
Daniel Stern.
Yeah, Daniel Stern's body double, yeah.
Here's what I want to say. Home Alone 2 is good. Is it as good as the first one? I don't know if anything could be, but I think they did their best to still make an entertaining movie. 2 is where he gets lost in New York City. The family abandons him in New York City.
And he meets Donald Trump.
Yeah, there's a scene with him meeting Donald Trump briefly, yes. And then there's a scene... What's rather neat is I think he has a cousin in New York City. Like the family has a cousin. But their townhouse is being renovated, so they're away, so he can't really stay there. But then he's able to use the renovated townhouse as a way to attack the criminals this time around, so I thought it was kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
But they do an interview. What do you recall when Warner Brothers and John Hughes could not agree on budget and suddenly you're working for Fox? Macaulay Culkin says, I remember being in the lobby of the school we filmed in. It was in the same Chicago high school we used for Uncle Buck. There was a poster up in the lobby, and you walked by it and saw all over it that Warner Brothers owned it. And one day I showed up for work when we were in pre-production. It wasn't there by the afternoon. It was back, and Fox was on it. No kidding. It didn't take them long to be able to find a new home for it, and it didn't take them long to take the poster down as soon as it was a turnaround to get a new one. After that, it was Hughes' production, kind of, but it was really Chris's production, Chris Columbus. John Hughes took his hand off the steering wheel of this thing and really let Chris go. I was very surprised.
Yeah.
And he says, why? He had a clear vision, a young actor discovered. After 16 Candles, Uncle Buck, The Breakfast at Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and the rest, I think he was getting tired of the director's chair. He'd had enough of it. He only directed one more after Uncle Buck, Curly Sue, and then boom, that was it.
And Curly Sue didn't really do that well. It was a good enough movie.
Yeah, it's fine. Belushi was in that, right? One of the Belushis.
Yes.
Yeah, and yeah. I remember the trailer for Curly Sue when you have that one guy says, she's like, may I? And she's like, may you what? Kiss your cheek in a pig's eye. Remember that? That was
yeah.
But let me see. Go down here, though. There's some stuff on Joe Pesci in here. Let's see. Give me a moment. How about a go-to anecdote, a treasured memory? Culkin says, a treasured memory? I got all kinds of things. People forget that in the movie, Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci barely share the screen with me. I'm in the movie Castaway by myself most of that movie. Oh, he's treating it like he's like in Castaway. Is that true? At least Tom Hanks had a volleyball to talk to. I was just talking to the ether. There was the think about it. If you think about it, it
really is true.
Most of him is just talking to himself.
But think about it from another perspective. If you think about it from the point of view of making a movie with a kid, to be able to not have to worry about your filming schedule, because you can literally film just when that kid is available and not have to worry about any other actors for most of the scenes, you're doing fine. Because there are very strict laws in Hollywood about how much time an underage kid can be on camera.
Yes.
And if they are not the focus of the scene, it's a challenge. This is why so many of these movies, they look for twins, so that they can split them up and get both of them,
like the Olsen twins,
kind of like doubling up their time, on camera. Whereas for him, it's all him. Get the scenes, get all the scenes we need, and then we just kind of film around that with everybody else.
Yeah, that makes sense. And if you look at those scenes in that movie too, like he's like the scene with the pizza guy where he sets up the thing to scare the pizza guy off, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. But you just see him and the pizza guy, and you think they're both on the set at the same time, but they probably weren't, right?
Right. This is the
magic of movies. It's like,
well, it's the illusion that the film makes. Remember, when you see two people in a scene together, and I put that in inverted commas, you see over one of their shoulders talking to the other person, and then the camera cuts to over their shoulder at the other person. They may not be standing in front of each other delivering their lines. That person could just be talking into the ether past the camera.
It could
and
be
hitting all of their lines. Now, a good actor is going to show up for their dialogue partner and be there for those scenes, but they won't be on camera for all of that. They'll just be there delivering lines like they're running lines in practice. But sometimes it's not even the actor. Sometimes it's just a stand-in or the director himself. So you don't even realize that.
Or a guy in a Gollum suit.
Think about it. You could have a guy and a girl talking to each other back and forth. They're not even in the same scene until they got to get the kiss scene. You know?
That can happen.
Yeah.
Oftentimes the actor talking to the stand-in or a stunt double. That's interesting, CluuStudio, yeah.
No, yeah, it's exactly right. Well, like I said, my buddy Dale actually got to be the stand-in. He got to stand across from Joe Pesci for some of his lines.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a thing on Joe Pesci I was trying to get to here too. There was a time they almost run me over the van, and the whole end sequence. It was one of the last days of filming. They finally catch me and they hang me up on the door. I'm dangling there, and they're talking about things like they're going to do to me. I'm going to smash your face in with an iron. I'll do this. We're rehearsing, and I'm pretty vulnerable. I'm actually hung up there. Joe and Daniel, they want to run their lines, which is fine with me. I don't have lines in that scene, so I'm like, yeah, I would love to run lines with you guys.
Yeah.
I'm dangling there, and it gets to the part. Joe says, "I want to bite each of those fingers off one at a time," which is such a grotesque kind of thing. He's rehearsing it,
Yeah.
and he bit me. He bit me for real.
Oh gosh.
You see that little white mark there? He presents his hand, and there's a faint white mark. That's Joe Pesci's tooth mark. He bit
That's
the
funny.
9-year-old by mistake.
That's
Like,
funny.
could you autograph my finger?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Okay, so he says, and Deadlight says, "How did you respond? You should have seen his face. He's a tough guy. He really is." And he just bit a 9-year-old who was dangling helplessly. Everyone went, "No, no, no, no." I drew back and went, "Ah." He didn't say anything at first. Then, like, "Oh, sorry about that, kid." But it was definitely with a "I took it too far" look on his face. I didn't
Yeah.
squeal on him. I think I was always good in his book for that because I didn't squeal. And and then the interviewer says, "You walked away with a souvenir." Yeah, for life. 2 years. We were filming the second one in New York. We had a little more screen time together. It was the last day of filming. We finally finished. It was a marathon. The second one took 5 months to film, and it felt like effing forever. He meets me at my trailer, and he had never done that. He says, "That was a good one, right?" I said, "Yeah, it was good." He says, "Listen, I got a bottle of vino in my room. I'm going to open it up, let it breathe. Do you want to come and have a glass of vino with me?" I just look at him and says, "You know I'm 10, right?" He's like, "Sure, but come on." I'm like, "Nah, man, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks, though." Memories like that. That's the thing that these kind of stories I tell on the stage. Okay, so it was a neat. You can check out this article though on I think it was
That's very interesting.
yeah.
See, you gotta understand it from Pesci's point of view, right?
Yeah.
I mean, wine for special occasions didn't matter that you were underage. It's like, yeah, it's what you do. Well, you only get one, but
One
you know you
glass,
can.
yeah.
Yeah, you can join us. I mean, that's just the way it is in an Italian family and whatnot. But it sounds like and you never know. All you know about these celebrities is what they choose to tell you. It's like the shadows on the cave wall. But I get the impression that Macaulay Culkin kind of dodged a lot of the really nasty stuff of Hollywood that kids usually have to go through.
Yeah.
And he probably saw some things and he's like, yeah, I'm getting out of this.
Yeah,
You know?
and I think he's doing well now. And like I said, I'm just saying. Wait, howdy, Troy and Enter Boomer, just home from work. He was
Welcome
in a
home.
movie in his early 20s though called Party Monster.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Let me see if I can get a thing on it. It's the most bizarre movie. He plays it's a real life true crime movie
Mm-hmm.
about the murders in the club scene in New York City. Biographical crime drama written by directed by who's it about? Film opens with Michael Olig, a small town outcast who lives with his mother.
Seth Green is in it.
Seth Green is in it. Yes, Seth Green is his friend. Chloe Savini. Dylan McDermott's in
yeah.
this. Dylan McDermott has the best line in this movie.
Natasha Lyonne. Wow. Yeah.
This was when they're all drugged up, right? Because they're all into the drugs, right? And Dylan
Oh, yeah.
McDermott is he owns the club, and he's in the bathroom, and he says, "Michael, I know you think you're Peter Pan, but I'm Peter, and I'm on the pan," because he was on the toilet. You get it was not that.
You know, it's available on Tubi right now if you want to check it out.
CluuStudio, what planet, dude? The Good Son was a very underrated role for. Yeah, he was freaking creepy in that movie, man.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it was not a comedy. It was kind of a horror film. That was a good movie. Yeah.
What do you call the guy, Mr. Accident? Whatever the dummy's name was that he's going to drop on the highway to cause a major accident.
Oh,
And someone cut a YouTube video where he does that and he drops it, and then like every crash pile up in every movie is attached to it, and like it just keeps getting
That's
worse
funny.
and worse.
That's
And he's
funny.
smiling as it's all going on. Just.
No, yeah. See, that was a great example of his acting chops. Yeah, I agree.
The kid, he was scarier than Chucky. I forgot
Right?
a young Frodo Baggins. What's his name?
Oh, I know
Elijah
who
Wood
you
was in
mean.
that. Young
Elijah
Elijah
Wood.
Wood was in that movie too. All right.
There you go.
But that wraps it up for Geeky Geezers. We're ending a little early tonight. You're lucky you got anything. It's Thanksgiving weekend. There's no news. I was
We got
scraping
lots
this
of
week, man.
snow.
Yeah,
No
it was
snow in
fine. I mean,
Florida.
there was some articles I could have grabbed, and I was like,
I had to wear a fall jacket this Friday. It was horrible.
oh, see, I like this weather. I like when it gets cooler and I can wear a nice jacket. Well, I wear a hat all the time, but
But
it's just...
yeah, I don't know. Turrican
Uh,
collection for the Evercade, huh?
yeah. No deleted scenes.
Oh, I forgot to ask you deleted scenes. Yeah, are you having anything tonight? If not, that's okay. But I heard Party Monster is pretty effed up based on a real story. I loved Party Monster. I'm sorry. It's a messed up story. He plays a deplorable character in it, but I still found him funny in that movie. And for whatever reason, I think it was a role only Macaulay Culkin could play. So
Well,
it's
and
like the last adult role I saw him in, yeah.
I'm looking at it now, and I'm seeing, he's in like some kind of makeup or whatever. I'm like, there was a time he would have made a good Joker.
Yeah, he's all over the place with his sexual proclivities and that. At first, I think he's gay in the movie, but then he
Uh,
gets a girlfriend toward the end. I
yeah.
almost argued he's like Caligula. That's what he was reminding me of in this
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
Okay, and his personality and stuff. Just you could have played the Joker. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, let's see though. No reserved seats this weekend. Tentatively scheduled to return on December 7th. Well, it is Thanksgiving.
That's fair.
Did you have we had a good Thanksgiving, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely did. Well, we had a great little marathon over here, starting with Liquid Lunch. We went and did a whole bunch of movies. A couple of them I had never seen before, which I really liked. A couple of old favorites that were nice to revisit.
Do you know what I watched on Thanksgiving? I hadn't seen it in years. Mr. Magoo's A Christmas Carol.
Oh
Oh
wow,
wow.
yeah, I
Have you
remember
seen that in a while?
Not in a while. I
That
have it on DVD.
that could not be made today. The whole beginning of it, he's driving to the theater and he's driving on the wrong side of the road, and then he's stepping in front of cars because he's nearsighted, right? Or like,
Right.
yeah, and
He's legally blind. Yeah.
they would not be able to do that now. People would get offended. They say you're making fun of the blind.
Oh gosh.
Oh please.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
you're
the kid
excited.
And then the kid was saying, the Tiny Tim kept talking about razzleberry dressing. And I'm like, what is razzleberry dressing? Razzleberry is not a word. And I'm thinking about this. And I find out later on, oh, no, wait, it actually is a thing. Apparently, razzleberry is a combination of blackberries and raspberries.
Wow. And I'm looking at it right now. The perfect raspberry pie. That looks good.
I believe that's what it
Speaking of
is, right?
pies,
Blackberries and
I made one tonight.
That's right. We haven't cut into it yet, but I made an apple cranberry pie, specifically a Max Miller pie. So I'm gonna have to see how it turned out.
So razzleberry is a true thing.
Yep.
And you can try your cranberry apple pie. Magoo's Tiny Tim is so cute. He's a little too cute. He's like, you can't hate on Tiny Tim in that movie like the others.
Yeah.
I'm joking. You're not supposed to hate on Tiny Tim.
Magoo's. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so
Yes.
so what do we got? The next thing that I got coming up is we're back to the work week. So Liquid Lunch Monday and every weekday at noon Central.
You got a topic for tomorrow?
I don't know. Usually on Mondays it's Monday musing, so it's whatever's on my mind when I wake up on Monday, and it's just like something I feel like talking about, and then we hit it.
Cool.
Tuesday is Thoughtful Tuesday. I want to hear from the Martini Gallery what you guys are thinking about, what you guys would like to talk about or hear my opinions about. Wednesday is, of course, WTF Wednesday. Something that I just want to rant about, or something I just saw on that Park Place, or something that I'm like, WTF,
And then he gets loud.
And I do tend to get loud on Wednesdays. Thursday, of course, Thankful Thursday. There's always something to be thankful for. Every day, but we specifically set Thursday aside for it. And of course, Friday is a fun day when I talk about what I'll be drinking at Last Call. Which this week, Boomer and I still need to talk about what we're going to do.
We will do that
haven't
after the
decided
stream.
yet.
Yeah, we're going to start planning these out, man, because it's
We
Christmas time. So I don't know. Maybe
It
some
is.
themed,
It is.
themed weeks coming ahead, huh?
We got to work around the holidays and stuff. There will be. I am not taking time off for the holidays. I didn't do it for Thanksgiving. I won't do it for Christmas. If you are not with family, well, you can be with family right here. But even if you are with family, go ahead and open up your laptop or bring us up on the big screen and, let your family know about the show. But anyway.
Christmas is on a Thursday this year.
It is. It
Good.
is. So, Monday night, for all my members, that includes you, Aged Boomer, and, as of tomorrow, it won't be Netter, but Netter's still my co-host. Netter's still my co-host.
Yes.
We will be watching The Big Chill. That was the movie you guys chose, so that's the movie we will be
That's
watching.
a classic.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's been years since I've
Like
seen
Jeff Goldblum, he's in it.
Yeah, like everybody's in it. Glenn
Everybody's in
Close
it, yes.
I mean, I can't even remember who all's in it. There's a lot of people in it. And then, of course, Tuesday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, the Granada series with Jeremy Brett, the Solitary Cyclist. Victorian girl's getting stalked by a guy on a bike and goes to Sherlock Holmes to find out what this guy's all about. So,
this day and age, we would just simply stop and go, hey, what's your problem, eh?
Right. Well, even back in that day and age, it was a little bit different in England. It was a little bit more like it is here. She might very well have had a little pew-pew in her muff, just in case something happened. But
Interesting.
But so yeah, that's of course Tuesday. Thursday, Netter's got a couple things going on.
Yes,
Thursday.
I do. Starting at 8 Central, 9 Eastern, we'll be having the members-only trivia night. So that'll last about an hour. If you would like to join us for the members-only trivia night, well, you gotta become a member. It's a mere $2.99. For some reason, I'm $1 more than Troy. He says I'm worth it.
Yeah, she's definitely worth the extra dollar. Yeah, for sure.
And so we will be having trivia night for the members. And then right after that at 9 Central, 10 Eastern, we'll be having Thursday Things. If we're on a roll, I might just kind of continue it into Thursday Things, but then let everyone else join. I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh.
we'll figure it out.
I guess I can ask everybody when we're doing the trivia for the members. It's like, how do you feel about continuing on and letting other people play?
Yeah, that could be
because I
too.
don't have a guest right now, so
Good idea.
we're just playing it by ear. And the whole point is to have fun.
Robert's Infinite Realm says, dude, I work on your daily streams, so I always miss them. Well, you got to take lunch, right? That's the whole idea. Even if you're at work, depending on what your lunch schedule is like, you can join me for a liquid lunch.
And if you
but
miss
if
one,
you
you can always listen to it later and leave a comment.
Exactly. Nothing says you can't, tune in later and leave a comment. That is equally encouraging to me. And then this Saturday, Netter, what's the... the movie's
it's Big
over
Al.
on Big Al's channel.
We got to see lasers on mine.
Yes, we did. And I'm forgetting what movie Big Al said was coming up this week. It's a Christmas movie.
Isn't it not a Christmas movie, that one that we're always talking about? We say it's a Christmas movie. He says
No, he's
movie.
already done Die Hard and Lethal Weapon.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
But Big Al, if you're still there, let us know. Is this the week for Scrooge, or is it the following week? In 2 weeks. Let me know. Oh yes, Trading Places. That's right. It is a Christmas
Jamie Lee Curtis at her best. Doubly so. Yes, absolutely. Long Kiss Goodbye is a Christmas movie. Yeah.
Technically,
There
yes,
you go.
it is. Yes.
There you go. So that's the week in review, guys. That's all I got.
Yeah, I'm done too. But like I said, keep sticking with it. We'll be at it again before long.
Absolutely.
Maybe
Okay.
maybe the water cell will finally go through.
There we go.
Have a good week, everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Good night.